So we've been banging on quite a lot about when we do our reviews, oh, there's not a USB socket in the light, and oh, that's a great idea. So you can just buy lights with USB sockets. So if you've got little spotlights in your caravan already, you can just go onto the internet and buy a USB upgrade. Basically, they're going to come with a positive and negative, and then whatever sort of light it is, each individual light will be slightly different, but it'll have a little converter, either a little PCB board inside of it, and that will sort of have a power setting then for that little USB socket as well. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually swap it over. If you want to put USB sockets or lights with USB sockets in your caravan, this is how you can do it. Now, first thing we want to do is isolate the power and turn all the power off to our positive and negative feed to that. So we want to make sure that on our panel that we've got our main 12 volt in the off position. Some will have a little isolator, so some of the little Swift will have on your Sergeant control panel a mains black button isolator on the panel, so just press that one in. If you really want to go to the next level, disconnect the positive and negative on the battery, and also just make sure that you've disconnected the 230 volt as well. These are all just 12 volts, so it's not really going to get an electric shock from 230 or anything, but if you've got a charger system on the caravan and you've got your caravan plugged into the electric, you still might get current running through it. So it's just better just to disconnect everything first, and then you know that you're not going to end up with any issues. Pretty much majority of the lights are going to have 2 screws, so we can literally just unscrew the 2 screws that it will have on there. And then just try and make sure that you don't drop these screws, because normally, especially if you're at the side of the caravan like this, they'll end up going down the little side boards and just being an absolute pain. So what we'll do is grab hold of that screw, pop it somewhere safe, and then there's normally your 2 wires, and what you want to make sure that is when these come out, and again, don't sort of, if you feel like they're quite tight, just gently sort of work them forwards and backwards until you can get them out. If it feels like it's stuck, have a look up in there. Sometimes you'll have a little access panel that you might need to remove. On this one, they've come out fairly easily, to be fair, and then it's just making a note of your positive and negative. So some wire colours are going to be different. Normally your white is going to be your earth, and then it might be a pink, a brown, a blue, a red. So just have a look at the old light and that should sort of tell you. So we'll make sure, obviously, when we put the new light on, our positive is going to go to our green and our negative is going to go to our white. Now again, we've got everything isolated, but again, we just want to make sure that we keep these 2 apart, so there's no chance that they're going to be able to touch. We'll get our new light. Now some are going to have longer wires, some are going to have shorter wires, so it's not going to make too much difference. It just means that when we come to push this light back up into the little recessed area, we need to get a little bit more wiring into there. This particular one has got our negative on the black and our positive on the red. Not all lights, as I say, are going to be marked up like that, but just have a quick check. Once we're at that position, what I'd say to do is, we're pretty safe and secure now, so we can put the power back on. So put our power on, put our lights on, and we'll just actually check the light, make sure that it is operating and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. If you've got a little charger, you can plug it in at this point and just test that, so that you know that that is all okay. And then I'm going to turn the power back off again, turn the lights back off, turn the power back off, and then just finally, just in case one of the wires was to come out, if this was to come out for some reason and then touch on the positive, So it's just making sure that we're not going to cause any issues. If they were to touch together, the worst really is just going to be one of the fuses. It's just then trying to find out where that fuse is. Pop our wires back in, and then again it's just trying to make sure that you've got the USB socket. Obviously we don't want that facing against the pelmet side, we want it nice and accessible. Get one of our screws. Hopefully the screws will line up with the old ones, but that's not always going to be the case. And then we're literally just putting the screws back in. Get one in first and just get it fairly tight. And then the second one, we can then again try and see the original holes, and if we can get it to go into the original holes, even better. Get it started by hand. We just need to swizzle the actual light itself to get it to fit properly, and then we'll tighten that up. One last double check. So we'll pop our 12 volt and pop our lights on. And there we go. Simple as that. Really easy job to do. You can get the little lights with the USB in for about £30. So they're not hugely expensive, but it does make a big difference to having lights and extra sockets and plugs in with chargers in, etc. Especially the little light ones like that. If you're sitting at the front, you can have your cable plugged in and then have your devices charged. In this particular one, you can loop them into the cupboard and store things in the cupboard, charging up nice and easily. So great little upgrade, definitely worth doing. As I say, on a lot of the reviews that when we go through, it's something that I look for to see whether they've got the USB sockets in there, because it does make a big difference when you're using the Caravan. So hopefully that has helped you. If you're thinking about doing it, it's a real quick, easy job, and I think you'll really find an advantage from actually using the Caravan with the USB sockets. Thanks for watching. I'm Mark at the Caravan Place.